Alright, welcome back. Today I'll just go over a few things. So I was just curious to the, to the Bernie Sanders rise in the polls, and ultimately, if he becomes a nomination, this happened in 2016 where he almost won the nomination, and of course they got Hillary. They put the fix in for Hillary. But what I'm concerned about is that we have so many people who want the social. Well, he's not a socialist. I mean, this guy is a Marxist, communist. There's no socialism in him. I mean, yes. Socialism ultimately turns into communism, but the way he talks, it's just strictly Marxist. His backers are violent. They, mostly Antifa, and he doesn't condemn them. He doesn't actually condone the behavior, but he doesn't actually condemn the behavior either. And so it'll be a scary thing to see if when he goes up against Trump, and there's debates going on, and his backers don't like what they're seeing in the debate stage, how they will react. I would say within the next 4 years, this country will fundamentally change. The Republicans are losing the battle of the cultural wars. That is so obvious. It's almost 2-to-1 how people feel towards immigration, towards workers' rights, towards migration, towards the identity politics, trans rights, intersectionality. We're losing. Any conservative that has any idea that we're going to go back on any of this is totally they're not staying with the times, and we're at the abyss. I mean, we're like over the cliff right now. We hit the peak of it, and now we're going downhill because we're not in a place where we can return back to traditional values in the United States. We're not. We're just not going to happen. We're way beyond that, and the people that are still hanging on to, gun rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Those people are diminishing rapidly. They're disappearing, and this ushering in of those radical, progressive ideas are sweeping across this country. So I think in the next 4 years we'll see a fundamental change in this country, and it won't be good. It won't be a good one. I don't believe that this cultural war, this woke culture that we have, this cancel culture, is a positive one. Because if we're trying to go into a positive area, why are we allowing colleges to discriminate against white Americans, Caucasian Americans? I mean, there is a hatred for Christian white Americans on colleges' campus all through the United States. It doesn't matter what state. It could be a red state, it could be a blue state, it could be a state that's purple. It doesn't matter. There is a cultural war against white conservative, Christian conservatives, especially them, and it's coming from white leftists who believe that, where their ideology is that they want forgiveness from gays, trans, blacks, Hispanics. For what? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to ask, for forgiveness from any culture. Not whites, not blacks, nobody. I didn't do anything to them. And the idea that these leftists, these white snowflakes, I mean, I don't even want to call them snowflakes, because that's demeaning to snowflakes. These people are just, they're sick in the head, because, the idea that you need to seek their approval, is demeaning, and you don't have no pride. I mean, you gotta have pride within yourself. If you don't have a backbone, then you can't succeed in this country, and that's why we have so many lazy 20-something-year-old white Antifa males out there, and females, but the majority are males, and it's sad, because that's not a winning culture, that's not a winning ideology, it's a losing one. Basically, I would say within the next 4 years and going forward, that this country will descend to where a country like, I want to say, almost like you're going to start seeing like South Africa, how it will happen. Believe me, this is not conspiracy. This is going to happen. If you see what's happening in South Africa, where, and I understand they went through apartheid, all that stuff, but whites are under attack in South Africa at an alarming rate. That's going to happen in this country. And leftists are going to be the first ones that are going to fall, because they are weak. They don't know how to protect themselves. They'll kowtow. And that, if you don't think that it will happen here, it will happen here, because you're giving people the idea that it's okay to berate and to condemn, and you're allowing yourself to be humiliated by a fraction of the population, and that emboldens them. And the next step is to, just like the war on cops in New York, you see the criminals are emboldened because of this reform that they put in there, and now crime is skyrocketing in New York because you embolden the criminals, and they feel like nothing's going to happen to them, so they're going to just keep committing crimes. And basically, that's what's going to happen all across America, especially that you're giving illegals more rights than legal citizens. And so I don't see it going back. It's not going to go back. It's going to just get worse. And forget about all this politics. Politics are ruined this country since 2000. I want to say since 2008, we've been in a downhill spiral in politics. We're allowing people to come into our Congress that are radical, that left their countries to come here and implement their radical ideas into our country. So we're destroying ourselves from within, and it's going to be our downfall, and we're not going to come back from it. So anyway, I am learning how to cook my own bread, bake my own bread. If you're a patriot, start buying those meal packs that store away, the Doomsday packages. You should start buying those, because I would say within the next 4 years that there will be a fundamental change in this country, and that it will change the way that corporations do business here. Corporations will get shuttered, business will shut down, and there'll be less stuff on the shelves. This is not hyperbole. This is not me overreacting. This is fact. Companies will stop producing because they will not be able to meet the demands of what the people want and then the employees want. You can't have an overwhelming demand of what the people want and then keep a business afloat because your employees are also demanding. And so who's going to suffer are the people who can't get to places like supermarkets and so productivity is going to go way down. Cost is going to come way up. Inflation is going to cause a lot of chaos because inflation is going to just boom. The dollar is going to be basically have no value, no currency. I mean, if I was you, I'd buy gold, silver, even buy cryptocurrency and start storing it away, because this is not just like doomsday. It will happen. It is. Just look at the steps that are happening in the United States, and the only way to remedy this, and I'm saying this seriously, is succession. We need states that want to stay within the Constitution and respect our laws that were founded 200 plus years ago to leave the United States and form a new government, a new country with our old Constitution. We need succession. Either that, conventions of state. But I don't think the conventions of state, because they've been stuck on 15 for like almost 2 years now. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think you need like 38 states to ratify it. So I think secession will happen faster than convention of states. That's just my take on it. I'll come back later. If you have an idea, comment below. I don't get a lot of comments. I don't get a lot of views, but I will share my opinion daily. So if you have something to say, just comment below.